Prix or Noah Clark, you're watching Worldwide Sim Racing for the Japanese Grand Prix. We're in the closing stages of the championship, and it is possible today for Sweet Crown 19 to wrap up the WSR Formula World Championship. Anthony 82 chasing him down still. The championship isn't over, but as we head to the Japanese Grand Prix, it could all be over today. The Japanese Grand Prix is synonymous with championship crowning. Many champions in Formula 1 have had their championships crowned here at the Suzuka circuit. Sweet Crown 19 and Anthony 82 are at the top of the championship. WSR Gurman is third in the championship with 99 points. Fly By Night 10 points behind him with 88. Flip Flop Fish gearing right up behind Fly By Night by 1 point. And You See Me Flying actually mounting a pretty good challenge up to Flip Flop Fish of 73 points. Fluffinutta, who started off the season pretty weak, has brought himself to 70 points in the championship, and he is right behind You See Me Flying, and that is a really great rivalry we have seen unfold. We're just getting into the race. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, my name is WSRX or Noah Clark. You're watching Worldwide Sim Racing for the Japanese Grand Prix. Of course, you might notice the feeder series no longer on. Element 10 joining us on the grid now for the main series. Damian Carroll also in, as well as Chill Mo. I will see if those drivers are on the grid today. Element 10, I do believe, is on the grid. We'll see if Damian Carroll, Chill Mo, and Scar Logan actually is also able to join us now on the grid. 18 drivers so far fully into the championship. Again, thank you very much for joining us. It's great to be back with you guys live on YouTube. And let's go over the full grid order with 18 drivers. We have Flip Flop Fish, Element 10, Sweet Crown 19, Albiku 1, Chill Mo, Scar Logan LPC, Speed Kills 3, Gurman, Damian Carroll, Fly By Night, Voodoo 52, You See Me Flying, Hartman, Fluffinutta, Jamian, and Anthony 8291. So we do have our three feeder series drivers with us right now, which is nice to see. And if you're just joining us, this is the Japanese Grand Prix. We're here at this live at the Suzuka circuit, and it's going to be a really exciting race as the AI drivers are the first to embark on their opening laps. And we'll get the ball rolling. Waiting. Let's ride on board of Kevin Magnussen, who is the first man to get onto the track, going up through the iconic S's in Suzuka. And I do have confirmation we have rain in 20 minutes in the race. So 20 minutes into the race, we are going to have rainfall, which has been a story for this entire season. Has just been rain, rain, rain. There is Flip Flop Fish, who has had a very good season since debuting in WSR. A boatload of points, a race win underneath his belt, and he is ready to get the ball rolling again in this championship. Chill Mo back on the grid. Good to see him in a WSR race, but this time he's in the main series. Of course, he was an honorary inductee into the WSR main series. He had such a great performance. The top three make it automatically. Chill Mo was given a invite for his amazing performance, especially in the second half of the season. To see him improve so much and become such a talented driver, really awesome to see. Let's see if he can bring that McLaren into the top 10 in the qualifying shootout. Of course, 18 minutes of qualifying. We're about at 16 minutes now in qualifying. There's Scar Logan LPC, who finished third in the championship. A distance between Damian Carroll, though. Scar Logan, though, looking to show why he deserves to be at the top step. There is Damian Carroll, second man in the championship. The championship came down to the wire, but unfortunately Damian crashing in the Belgian Grand Prix was not able to mount too much of a challenge to our man, Element 10, who sits in the Ferrari. who won the championship in WSR's feeder series, and he'll be looking to add some more championship points to his resume as he looks for a points finish here in this race. He's debuted in the Russian Grand Prix, but it was not a great state of affairs for him, and he ended up finishing quite near the bottom of the race of the grid. And let's actually ride on board with Element 10, and he's about to start his first flying lap of the Suzuka circuit, coming onto the main straight, bringing it all the way up to 8th gear, hitting around 322 kilometers per hour, before heading down into turn 1, braking hard before turn 2, making sure to just miss the curb, hitting the curb a little bit there now through the S's. A lot of brake and throttle management here. There is greens going, and Kevin Madison will go fastest. Of course, those times will start to tumble down as Element 10 going through the S's pretty nicely, flowing through there pretty easily. Coming around now, and there's an off by Speed Kills 3. And he goes off track. Thankfully, keeps the car under control. Gurman is the fastest man on track right now. And Flip-Flop Fish on the grass coming into the chicane before ending his lap. Let's see what he's going to do. And is he going to dive in the pits? Yes, he is. El Biku goes with a 31. Now riding on board of Element 10. He's already passed the chicane. Coming up to the next few turns. And very nice through there. Chill Mo goes third. Well, now he's third fastest. He was second fastest. Fly By Night overtakes him. Gurman, though, still with the fastest lap. Scar Logan in 6th position. Element 10 now coming through 130R. Absolutely flat in the Ferrari. No problem whatsoever before braking just after the 100-meter board into the final chicane. Here's Element 10. What time is he going to set as his first lap? Coming around that turn, and it is pole position. It's a 128.9. A very good lap by Element 10. Puts him on pole position at the moment. But let's ride on board of Sweet Crown 19, who just got past the hairpin, coming in the sector 3 now. Let's see what he can do. Into those turns, and a little wide. Losing the car a little bit, getting a little sideways. Now onto the straight. Again, running a little wide there too. Maybe not totally in control. There's Gurman. He flies past Gurman. Maybe a little bit of slipstream on the straight, but I'm going to assume not. As he goes to 130R, absolutely flat. These cars can take it flat. Jamien is fastest on track now for 128.840. Now coming around, and no, Sweet Crown 19 is not happy with his lap, and he goes into the pits. So he might have had an off somewhere else. Here is Hartman in the Haas, as he's going to look to make better fortunes in Suzuka. Not the best of qualifying performances so far in WSR, hoping to get it a little bit better as we move on further in the championship at the closing stages. There's Anthony 82, second man in the championship. He has to he would like to qualify over P6, and there goes Hartman into the gravel, running too wide, so there's not going to be a good lap set by him. Anthony 82, if he finishes 6th or lower and Sweet Crown 19 gets fastest lap and wins the race, the championship will be over. So it is quite odd stakes, I would say, for Sweet Crown 19 to win the championship today, but it might happen. Let's see what he can do coming across the line, and it is only 11th fastest for Anthony 82, so not on pace right now at Suzuka. And Speed Kills 3 is on his outlap, so is Flip Flop Fish. Chill Mo sitting in a very comfortable 6th position right now. He must be pretty happy with that. Fluffinutta might be running in low fuel mode, actually. We'll get telemetry up on there for you. No, he wouldn't hit 106. No, maybe he is running in low fuel. I mean, there is the fuel gauge on there, and no, I do think he is just taking a slow lap back in. No, he might actually be in low fuel. In fact, I think that is the case. Nevertheless, he is into the pits now. There is Scar Logan LPC. He's sitting in 10th position right now. I think he'll be pretty happy, though, with that position at the moment. Anthony 82 is behind him, though, in 11th, and that is not where he wants to be if he wants to have any hopes of his championship staying alive. Sweet Crown 19 has not yet set a lap time as we head around towards 10 minutes in this qualifying session. Sweet Crown 19 would love to get further up the grid if he can, as we're coming through the S's of Suzuka. And there is that Alfa Romeo car, which has seen the top step of the podium many a times during this championship, and maybe he will see it again. Sweet Crown 19, of course, was the man who did our hot lap this week, so we can thank him for that. Will he get a lap similar to that and get himself on pole position? It's Jamian on pole position right now, who sits in the pits, though he just exited the pits and is now going to head out on track to set another lap. You always got to be ready whenever you can. You just never know when you might need to set another lap. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Worldwide Sim Racing. It is the Japanese Grand Prix. Very happy for all of you for joining us. Speed Kills 3 is on a lap right now in the Alfa Romeo. The other Alfa Romeo, though, has not had the best of fortunes, as our man Sweet Crown 19, first in the championship, has, running up on the curb a little bit, coming up to the few turns. Oh, and he goes too wide through there. And I think the curb, running up on the curb, might not have helped him too much, I think. We'll have to wait and see. There's Sweet Crown 19. Going through the center S's. And let's see what he can do. Can he get his car further up on the grid? Element 10 sits in second right now. Flip Flop Fish is on another lap as well, and he just passed the, I believe that's the Toro Rosso of Fly By Night, coming around 130R, coming up onto the chicane, and this is not the best of laps though, so I do believe this is going to be an in lap for Flip Flop, and yes it is, going into the pits. Here is Sweet Crown 19, running up on the curb a little bit again, going wide through some of these turns. Let's see what he can do. Now on the main straight. There actually is a starting grid painted on there, which is interesting. I wonder what racing series starts there. Not at the grandstands, apparently. As coming through the chicane, Sweet Crown 19 will set his first lap, and it's looking to be pretty good. Coming around the final turn, and it's going to be pole position. It's a 128.6, and the championship leader puts his car further up the grid. And the 82 has dropped all the way down the 14th on the grid, and he is making it really hard for himself. He might be setting up his car a little bit, maybe just waiting for it to die down, though. We'll have to wait and see on that, but overall, not the best of looks for him right now, as he's a little bit further down the grid than I think he would like to be. Uncomfortably down the grid, actually, as Speed Kills 3 is all over the track, absolutely having none of it right now in that Alfa Romeo, not able to get it in sync like Sweet Crown 19 is right now, and there is front wing damage, so he did hit the wall somewhere, and he hits the wall more coming into the pits, and goes into the pits very fast. Hartman is slowest on track with a 137.1. Of course, he did go off on track, and I think he just wanted to set a lap time. Though now going through the S's, looking to improve his time. Riding on board with him right now. And I think, I'm alluding to what happened with the hot lap video. Stopping and going in the S's, it just really kills your flow, and now running up on the grass a little bit, that's not going to do you any favors. About to be done of Sector 1, and there is a yellow flag in Sector 1, though I'm not too sure who that would be for. Still waving. So somebody is off. Though I can't see who it is. There's yellow flags in now Sector 1 and 2. There might be somebody going slow. Is there a Sweet Crown into the pits? Here is You See Me Flying. Coming out. Oop, we're almost losing the car a little bit. Now under the bridge. Up to the hairpin. Nice hitting the apex there, not locking up the brakes. Very easy to go wide on the hairpin, but he gets it well there. Now coming up, let's see what he can do here. Running up on the curb a little bit, unsettled the car, had the brake a little bit more, and I think it would have liked sliding out of the turn, though. Now up on the straight. Coming up to 130 yard. Flat. Up to the chicane. Braking just after the 100-meter board. Into the final turn behind Voodoo 52, who runs up on the grass. The time will be best for fourth fastest, so a very good lap by You See Me Flying has put him into the top 5 at Suzuka. Of course, a very favorite track for You See Me Flying. He touted a lot about this track prior to the Grand Prix, and there's a few cars off, and that looks to be one of the Renaults, and I think that might be Fluffernutter, who did go off, and he's off even more onto the grass. This is ruining the overall wear of your tires, and I don't know if he ran into some issues with one of the Toro Rossos. Fly By Night is a little bit further ahead from Fluffernutter. Fluffernutter sitting in 11th. Anthony 82 now going to set a lap and hopefully a little bit more indicative of his time. Let's see what he can do. Coming up to the line, and it's fastest on the grid. Anthony 82 on pole position at the moment. Sweet Crown 19 still in the pits, and he's beating him by a few hundredths of a second. Anthony 82 on pole position at the moment. Provisional pole for Anthony 82. Sweet Crown 19 will definitely be wanting to get out onto track pretty soon, and I think he'll do this then, but Flip-Flop Fish denies him at the moment. He goes fastest on the grid with a 128.3. And now it's second on the grid for Anthony, but Sweet Crown 19 is in third. Element 10 is in fifth position on the grid right now. Jamian is in fourth. What are the scenes here? You See Me Flying out of the top 5 at the moment. Sixth place for You See Me Flying. Unbelievable scenes. Element 10 going for another lap. Let's see what he can do. Can he get his car further up in the grid? Into turn 1, braking hard for turn 2. Again, minimal touching of the curbs out of turn 2. Through the S's. Running a little bit wide. Wide again. Not hitting the apexes, I think, as much as he would like to. Hitting it better through there. Out of the exits of the S's. Not running up on the curb. Now, coming up to the end of Sector 1. On the curb there, sliding a little bit onto the curb before coming onto the underpass. Done with Sector 1, and now onto Sector 2. Hard braking for the hairpin. Very easy to go wide. Anthony 82 is retired from the session. Was there a crash? Sector 3. I'm not seeing any yellow flags. But Anthony 82's out of the session, though. I think he might have realized that he is done with qualifying. Here is Element 10, though. We're going to ride on board of him. Not the best Sector 3 Delta with off by a 10th, but Element 10 much better in qualifying on this lap than he was in Russia. Now coming up to the chicane. Does it pretty well. Coming up to the final turn, what's it going to be? It's going to be no lap. Element 10 not happy with it. He goes back into the pits. You See Me Flying is on another outlap. He will look to get further up the grid. He's riding with that pretty cool pumpkin Halloween helmet that they have on sale right now in the F1 store. You can go pick it up if you want to for about $1, I believe. WSR Gurman sitting in 8th position. Fluffernutter in 9th. Both of them are on outlaps right now. But now, Fluffernutter coming up onto Fly By Night. Fly By Night does get out of the way. Good by him. Onto the hairpin now. Let's see if he can hit that apex, and he does. Hits it beautifully and gets the power on nicely. Now, coming up to what used to be Gurman. Gurman is also on a lap, though, so hopefully these guys don't run into each other. No one's going to want to get out of the way for the other. But Gurman looks to be the man slower right now on that lap. But then again, Fluffernutter runs a little wide there. And, Gurman slows up quite a lot. And Fluffernutter might be getting compromised a little bit. Is he going to let by Fluffernutter? Yes, he does. Fluffernutter with a little bit of a daring overtake in some cases before coming onto the chain. But this has helped Fluffernutter a little bit. He did get slipstream. What's the lap time going to be for him? And it's not going to be any faster, though. It's actually 0.6 slower. So Flip-Flop Fish is on pole position, unless Sweet Crown 19, who is going to set a lap, can have anything to do about it. Going through Sector 1, let's see what that Sector 1 time is going to be, and it is 10th down on his time at the moment. So, looking pretty good, but Flip-Flop Fish with a 28.3, still the clear advantage. And now a little wide onto the hairpin. And there's the yellow flag in Sector 2. Speed Kills 3 has retired from the session. I don't know if he crashed. Now coming through the turns. Again, running up on the curb quite a lot. Using a lot of that curb before coming up onto the straight. Sector 2 time will come in. What's it going to be? And still waiting, and it is 0.2 down. So he might be able to go further, but Jamian denies Flip-Flop Fish pole position through the final chicane for Sweet Crown 19. Can he get his car further up the grid? He's only 4th at the moment. Can he overtake Anthony 82? Yes, he does. It's 3rd position for Sweet Crown 19. Anthony 82 will settle for 4th. Albiku is going to be one of the last men to come done with his lap. Let's see what he can do. No, nothing done there. Albiku goes into the pits. But Jamian, again, on pole position. What a stellar lap by him at Suzuka. We weren't watching it. We were watching Sweet Crown 19. But nevertheless, he's put it on pole position with a 1:28.343. So a full 1/100th of a second difference. And, a little bit of wing damage there. And there's a lot of wing damage, though it is the AI taking control at that point. But Jamian on pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix. Very exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff. Awesome to see. And we're getting a little bit of banter from some of the drivers who are expecting rain within about 20 minutes from the start of this race. But Jamian is on pole position. Flip-Flop Fish in 2nd. Sweet Crown 19 in 3rd. 4th for Anthony 82. And Fly By Night rounds off the top 5 in the grid. Element 10 with a much better performance, sitting in 6th on the grid in the Ferrari. Looking to bring back some more Italian pride. Of course, the Alfa Romeo, been on the podium so many times. But then again, the Toro Rosso is now, let's not forget, Toro Rosso is an Italian team, though next year they're going to be Alpha something. I don't know. I forgot the name. So count that as a botch on my part if I don't know how to say the name. Am I really that sorry? Not really. And we're just getting ready for the start of the race. Thank you very much for joining us. We are just about to begin the Japanese Grand Prix race. We just got done of qualifying. Jamian is our man on pole position. Flip-Flop Fish behind him. And Sweet Crown 19 in 3rd position. Anthony 82 in 4th. And Fly By Night again putting himself into the top 5. Another very good pole position. Or not, sorry, qualifying time for him. Never qualifying performance on the board for him. And we're just about to get ready with the formation lap and all the cars get moving. And let's get ready, and I'm going to go over the entire grid for you. It's Jamian on pole position, followed by Flip-Flop Fish 4. Sweet Crown 19 in 3rd position, followed by Anthony 82.91. Fly By Night in 5th, Element 10 in 6th. You See Me Flying is in 7th position, ahead of Gurman and Fluffernutter, more importantly, in 9th position for him. Damian Carroll puts himself in the top 10 for the 2nd round of rookies. Chomo, though, right behind him. Albiku in 12th, 13th for Hartman. Lewis Hamilton putting himself in 14th ahead of Voodoo 52 in the McLaren. Scar Logan LPC, the last of the rookies at the moment, in 16th position. Kevin Magnussen in 17th. And Speed Kills 3 is in 18th position. 18 drivers on the grid. A lot of chaos can happen. Turn 1 has been known to create some sticky situations, let's just put it that way, as Speed Kills 3 has apparently left the session. That is what I'm getting from the game, though I don't know if that's particularly true. I've seen a lot of nonsense happen, but apparently Speed Kills 3 has left the session. He's in last place at the moment. Maybe not too happy with his qualifying position. Update for the F1 game. Cars with blue flags will now ghost when getting lapped, so we won't have any more issues like we did in previous races. Getting ready for the start of this race. And Jamian rolling on to his pole position. Flip-flop fish in second. And we're getting some terrible shots right now from the camera angles. What are these camera angles, game? Let's go. Come on. Sweet Crown 19. There's absolutely nothing. I guess Anthony's got the best look on the grid right now. And we'll wait, and now the lights will get ready, and we'll get ready for the start. It's Jamie on pole position, and I'm still not getting anything. It's going to be 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and in Japan. It's a long start, but it's go. Jamie gets a very good start, and Flip Flop Fish gets a horrid start, dropping way down the rest of the grid. Jamie, though, clean through turn 1. Sweet Crown 19 in second, and Anthony 82 has had a stellar start, putting himself up in the 3rd position, going around the Toro Rosso of Fly By Night and running up on the grass a little bit, though, but not compromising himself too much. Damien gets a terrible start all the way down in 15th. He must have had some sort of accident, and there goes Fly By Night around Element 10, and Albiku getting ahead of Kevin Madison. Kevin Madison dropping down. There's a lot of yellow flags in the Sector 1. But now it is Jamie in the 1st position. Sweet Crown 19 follows behind him. Anthony 82 in 3rd. Fly By Night in 4th position. And there is Element 10. Chill Mo has retired from the session. There's a crash already. Chill Mo is out of this race. What has happened? There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. We just missed it. But Chill Mo is out of this race. Jamie is in 1st. Sweet Crown 19 in 2nd. Anthony 82 is in 3rd. Chill Mo has left this session. Something has happened. He lost control of the car maybe. Or was it an incident between a driver? But now here comes Flip Flop Fish on the Red Bull of You See Me Flying, going for 130R. And just before 130R did Flip Flop Fish decide to fall back. And now, though, side by side through the chicane, You See Me Flying, defending well from Flip Flop Fish, but it might be inevitable now cutting up onto the straight. No DRS assistance, but better straight line speed, it looks like, for the Mercedes right now in the slipstream of that Red Bull, now going into turn 1. Let's see if it's going to happen. No. Gurman, though, right behind Flip Flop Fish, and no, Flip Flop does it, and he spins around. He tried to go on the inside of You See Me Flying, but it didn't work, and he gets spun around. And that might have been a little bit of a daring move, I think, by Flip Flop Fish. Wasn't really going to work, and it didn't work because he spun around himself. And big disaster for the Mercedes driver, who started on 2nd in the grid, but now is all the way down in 16th place. And Speed Kills 3 is all over the track right now, having absolutely none of it. As Flopfanata, has he had a crash of some sort? And yes, I think he has. And there's the McLaren of Voodoo 52, who also had an off on track as well. And there's big issues going on now, as now, Voodoo 52 gets compromised. It looked to be by Flip Flop Fish and Hartman going at it in battle right now. And Hartman is chasing down that Mercedes of Flip Flop Fish, coming up to the turn before the straight. Jamie is on pole position. Anthony 82, though, chasing closely to Sweet Crown 19. We're going to come up onto lap number 3 right now, and we are going to see what happens. DRS will be activated, and we'll start to see a few more overtakes, I think. Big scenes in the beginning of this race. And Anthony 82 is in 3rd position right now. Fly By Night in 4th. Element 10 sitting in 5th position right now. Pretty good few laps for him as he got overtaken by Fly By Night, though. We'll be chasing down Fly By Night for that 4th place spot. And Obiku has an off. And Obiku has spun the car. And he's reversing and forwarding. If you reversed on the grid in real life, you got disqualified immediately. But we can suspend our safety regulations in a game. And Element 10 is getting actually very close to the back of Fly By Night. Let's ride on board with him right now in that Ferrari. Chasing down the Toro Rosso. Fly By Night having a very good last couple races. Oh, Fly By Night, though, going too wide into the turn. That might compromise him. And now coming up onto the straight. Let's see if anything can be done. And I don't believe there's any DRS down this straight, which is interesting. I think they should add a DRS zone there. And now speed kills 3. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Let's look on Fly By Night, though. He's actually getting very close to the back of Anthony 82, who was dropped back from Sweet Crown 19, who sits in 2nd, though. At the moment, though, championship not looking to come to a close unless Anthony has something catastrophic happen, as now DRS closes, and he gets ever so closer to the rear diffuser of that Red Bull. Flip-flop brought himself all the way back up to 11th now, so already charging back through the grid, looking to get further up there. And Damien puts himself in 9th. A bad start for him. He's gone further up the grid, but he's battling still with Lewis Hamilton. They're going side by side. Fly By Night getting very close to Anthony 82. Coming up to the end of Sector 1 under the Fanatec Bridge. Now to the hairpin. Very easy to lose your braking. And both of them lose their braking, but Anthony 82 especially does. And here is Sweet Crown 19 chasing down Jamie, who's actually pulled about almost a 2-second gap. Coming up towards that. There's Fly By Night, keeping within about half a second of Anthony 82 now. Coming onto the straight, the slipstream is pretty strong around here. Let's see if he can get a little bit closer. And yes, he is gaining time by a few hundredths of a second. Now coming up to the chicane. He's actually getting very close and now braking very hard. And wow, he's getting really close to the back of Anthony 82. Anthony 82 slides around a little bit. And now DRS activated down the straight. Fly By Night might make a challenge in the turn 1 on Anthony 82. Let's see. And yes, going side by side of Anthony 82 in the turn 1. And he makes the move just about getting ahead. Anthony 82 still hanging it around, but no, Fly By Night with a beautiful overtake in the turn 1 and 2, and that was stellar. Fly By Night now in 3rd position, and he's looking on the sights of Sweet Crown 19, who he's actually within a second of him right now. Very dialed in right now is Fly By Night. And now look at that. Gurman and Element 10 are going side by side, and Gurman makes a move on Element 10. And they're getting very close. There's You See Me Flying now, getting very close to the back of Element 10. Into the hairpin. Element 10, though, goes too wide, and You See Me Flying getting early on the power, but not able to take advantage. But now Element 10 struggling. And there's big slipstream for You See Me Flying right behind the rear diffuser. But no challenge made. A little bit too close for comfort, and I think he'll just slot it behind. But now, coming up onto that straight, You See Me Flying already side by side of that Ferrari, coming side by side up the straight before 130R, and this is going to be really big stuff going side by side through here, but Element 10 has a slot behind him as he got ahead of him just before the turn-in at 130R. And these guys are putting it all on the line right now. Element 10 will have some DRS going down the start-finish straight. But Yosemite Fine breaking the slipstream, not letting that DRS take as much of an effect for him as he might have liked. Element 10 dropping back a little bit. He was running pretty well, now in 7th position, though. Not the worst of positions to be in right now in the championship. Element 10, of course, winning the championship in the feeder series. And there's Fluffernutter. He's gone off in the turn 1. And I don't know what happened, but he's now alongside his teammate of Albiku, who's going to be coming up around him. And there's front wing damage, pretty severe, for Fluffernutter in 16th. So something must have happened. He must have spun. I don't know if he was battling with somebody, but he is all the way down in 16th place. Jamian is in first, 2 seconds ahead of Sweet Crown 19. Fly by Night is sitting in third, 1.8 seconds. Anthony 82, though, has chased back up to Fly by Night. The Toro Rosso versus the Red Bull. The Red Bull obviously usually would get an easy overtake, but not in this world where all the cars are essentially equal in performance. Anything can happen, and we get to see some pretty interesting grids, that's what I love about the equal cars. You get to see different cars on the podium, and it's really awesome to see. As now Fly by Night getting a better run there out of the chicane. Anthony 82 will just have DRS, but it is only a straight line speed advantage, not so much a slipstream to gain. Now going through turns 1 and 2, a little bit better through there than Fly by Night, but at the moment nothing doing it. And as you can see, the track is getting darker because the clouds are rolling in. The rain is not yet coming down. We will keep you updated on that, as there's still sunshine and rainbows around here, but a lot of the track getting enveloped by gray clouds. Well, this has been an exciting first few laps of this race, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm really excited for you guys to be here. This is the WSR main series. We're here for the Japanese Grand Prix. And there is Yosemite flying in the Red Bull. He's in 6th position. He's a place down from his, 2 places down, sorry, from his teammate Anthony 82, who's sitting in 4th. Gurman sliding around a little bit. The rain isn't coming, but the track temperature might be decreasing a little bit. And the track might get, the tires might get a little bit less grippy. And here comes Anthony 82, very close now to Fly by Night. And they're going to come onto this DRS straight, and I think a move might be pretty easy for Anthony 82, as now DRS flap opens, nothing for Fly by Night, and no, not as easy as it was for Fly by Night, and he actually doesn't catch up to him in time. Not enough to make an overtake through the S's. Anything can happen, though. You can make mistakes. And Fly by Night did run a little bit on the curb there, but I think it's safe to say he's okay. And Anthony 82 will have to wait just a little bit longer. Though, if this rain starts to come down, we will see a lot of strategies go out the window, essentially. And the rain will eventually come. 20 minutes into the race is the expected forecast. Anthony 82 in 4th. And he is getting very close. And I do believe there's a little bit of thunder out there. You know, a little spooked by the weather outside, ladies and gentlemen. The typhoon from Japan, I guess, coming to... And yep, that is definitely some thunder right there. Big booms. And there might be a big boom for Anthony 82 as he's coming very close to the back of Fly by Night, but not able to make a move just yet. Up to the chicane. Braking hard. A little bit on the grass, though, for Fly by Night. I think Anthony 82 followed it in suit. Here comes Anthony 82, though. DRS activated. Getting very close to Fly by Night. Moves to the outside lane. And can he make a move? It's going to be hard, and no. Drops back a little bit. Not able to make that move. A little bit too risky, I think. Thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Worldwide Sim Racing welcomes you to the Japanese Grand Prix. And Anthony82 is challenging right now, fly-by-night for 3rd position. Here is WSR Gurman in 5th position. Usimi flying behind him in 7th. Element 10 is in 7th, but Flip Flop Fish, with a really good recovery drive, has got himself all the way up near 7th position. Will be a move in the hairpin. Yes, there will be, and it's a big dive bomb, but it's a clean one at that. Element 10 just gave him enough space, maybe a little bit too much than he should have, and Flip Flop Fish will take all he can, and he will take that position kindly. Element 10 now down in 8th position. Pit stops haven't happened yet, and I don't know if the drivers are waiting for this rain to come down. It hasn't happened just yet, though the sky is looking like it's going to change pretty soon. They might be waiting a little bit, though. We'll just have to wait and see. And there is Anthony82 in the slipstream now of Fly-By-Night. DRS activated again. Will he make a move? No. Not able to catch up to Fly-By-Night. I think the 2nd and 3rd sector, he's getting compromised a little bit. Not able to mount a challenge up to the main straight. So unfortunate for him. Not able to mount too much of a challenge. As Scar Logan is into the pits, he's one of the first men to go into the pits for a legitimate pit stop. Let's see what that tire is going to be. And there is rain coming down on track, and it is actually intermediate tires. Now, I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a little bit of an early call to be putting on intermediates, and no, it doesn't look like he has. The intermediate tires were there. I don't know if he's changed intermediates. It is raining a little bit on track. And there, nope, he's on the mediums. We'll actually look up the details of tires. And no, Scar Logan is listed on intermediate tires. I think this is a little bit early. It is only just starting to rain. And I think Scar Logan will have to be struggling a bit. Oh, look at that. He is struggling quite a lot. And I think this is a little bit too early of a pit stop to be making. You got to be... I always say, wait for the AI. If you're in the width of the AI and you can see them, if they haven't pitted yet, it's not time to pit yet. But Jamie has lost a lot of time with Sweet Crown 19. He's actually back within attacking window, and now Jamie is losing a lot of time on the straights. Something might be wrong with Jamie's car right now. I'm not too sure. He might be just losing grip. Sweet Crown 19 actually started on the medium tires. So he'll be able to go technically longer into this race, but as the rain comes down and the track changes, intermediates will be the tire of choice pretty soon. And oh, Jamie is really struggling, not able to find grip at all right now, and he almost lost the car into the grass. Going through that turn now and off, Jamie is all the way off track there and going wide through there onto the curbing. And this is going to be easy pickings for Sweet Crown 19 when he's in his attack window. And now really wide on the hairpin. Jamie just keeps the position. And Jamie is not confident in the car. It's a combination, I think, of the rain and, quite honestly, the fact that those soft compound tires are just not going to cut it too much more into this race. Now going through that turn, Jamie probably going quite slow. And the track is starting to get a little shiny. So it might be time to switch soon. We'll have to wait and see. It's coming down pretty well. And here comes Sweet Crown 19. Jamie pretty slow on the straights. Everything not going well for him. Now 130R and Jamie can't take it flat. And something's wrong with that car. There's no front wing damage, but I just don't think he has the grip. I think he would be wise to go into the pits right now. And yes, he will go into the pits. But so will Sweet Crown 19. I think right now it is good enough to go on intermediate tires. And let's see if Anthony82 follows suit. Yes, he will. Fly-By-Night does as well. Everybody will be diving into the pits. The pit lane is about to get really, really busy. As there's Usimi flying, struggling a lot. And oh, side-by-side into the pit lane. And oh, no! Flip-flop fish. And Usimi Flying went side-by-side into the pit lane, but that means Usimi Flying is going to have to get a wing change. No wing change. I think it was too early. But now he's going to be on the intermediate tires, but he's going to have wing damage coming out of the pit. So let's see. I think there is a end plate gone on that car. And yes, there is. Flip-flop fish I don't think was expecting you to see me find the struggle so much, but now a lot of cars into the pits. But look who has come out on front. It is Sweet Crown 19 in the lead of this race. Even despite the pit stop, Sweet Crown 19 has found himself in the lead of this race. That is pretty unbelievable. Anthony 82 has found himself in third. Flip Flop Fish in 6th. You see me flying in 7th position behind Flip Flop Fish. And there might be a little bit of tussling. I'm not too sure. Again, I don't really think that's much of Flip Flop's fault. I think you see me flying really lost the car, and he tried to get into the pits as much as he could, but that was always going to be bad going side by side into the pit lane for Suzuka. Lewis Hamilton is in 8th. Element 10 is behind him. And yes, it is pretty well certain intermediate tire conditions as the rain is coming off well. So it did rain, and it's starting to rain quite a lot. And it rained quite a lot pretty fast. Let's see what Element 10 can do behind the back of Lewis Hamilton. Can he get ahead of the Mercedes driver who just finished and won the Mexico Grand Prix today, but was not able to close out the championship? He will move on to the United States Grand Prix and hopefully close it down there. And Element 10 in 9th in the slipstream of Lewis Hamilton, but not able to do anything at the moment. And he will sit nice and pretty behind him. Thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. It is Worldwide Sim Racing. It is the Japanese Grand Prix. We're at the Suzuka circuit. Rain is coming down, as it does quite a lot at Japan. Right now, only intermediate tire conditions, though if it rains more, we'll start to see wet weather tires go on. But I think it's safe to say intermediates are the way to go. Lewis Hamilton is all over the track. Elma 10 is anything but that as he's chasing down Lewis Hamilton. Let's run on board of Anthony 82, sitting in 3rd position. And we'll take a little bit of a breather, and we'll let you guys watch some of the action with no noise from me. Just enjoy some of the sounds and sights of Japan. Element 10 gets ahead of Lewis Hamilton in 8th position. And let's ride on board of Fly By Night, who's getting very close to Gurman. There is no DRS now. Gurman switches to the outside lane, though. And there is a crash. Flip Flop Fish is out of the race. What happened there? Yellow in Sector 2, Sector 3. Can we get a glimpse of that? And it is just a yellow flag in Sector 3. And now Speed Kills 3 is DNF'd as well. He's out of the race. And there's Speed Kills 3. And he's off track at the moment. And that is bad news. Bad news for both of those drivers. Let's see if we can catch. No, we can't. But nevertheless, Flip Flop Fish is out. Speed Kills 3 is out. I don't know if there was a crash because they both came off relatively at the same time, though I'm not going to make any guesses on that at the moment until we get more information. But nevertheless, 2 drivers out in this race. The rain coming down hard. And it has claimed the lives of 2 brave souls in Flip Flop Fish and Speed Kills 3. Let's claim the cars, not claim their lives. The lives are fine. They're alive. But the cars are done. And that is not good news at all. I guess some would say a pretty horrid result for Flip Flop Fish and Speed Kills 3. I think all of you know what I mean. Sweet Crown 19 is in first, though, and he leads the race at the moment. But here is the most important part, is Anthony 82 in third. He keeps his championship hopes alive at the moment. So the only thing Anthony 82 has to do is just keep it alive at the moment. Though, with Flip-Flop Fish crashing, anything can happen. And I don't want to jinx things here by saying Anthony 82 has had a few spins in this season, but he has had a few spins in this season. And let's hope I'm not jinxing anything for him. But he has been inconsistent at times, under pressure. And he's coming up to the back of Jamian. Actually, that might be Fly By Night. Nope, that is Jamian. A little bit further behind than I think we envisioned. And Fly By Night now coming up onto the back of Gurman, who ran off onto the grass a little bit, but nothing doing it for Fly By Night. He will sit behind him still. So this is Anthony 82's championship to lose at the moment. Sweet Crown 19 is in the lead. He just has to keep it clean and smooth, make no mistakes, and Sweet Crown 19 is not a man that has been known to do such things. As we're halfway through this race, through 130R, that dry line on track where all the cars are going, that racing line has formed. And that is where you want to keep your tires in. If you start to get into the actual rain where the cars aren't driving, you're starting to get into aquaplaning, and that can really mess you up, and that can spin you around. And just in a moment's notice, Anthony 82's championship could be over. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1, and off is Scar Logan LPC. And coming up back on track, that was dangerous if I ever saw it. Scar Logan LPC, thankfully, ghosting is on, because that could have been bad for Anthony 82 if it had been a little bit sooner. Just got to remember that the cars do ghost, so you don't have to deal with issues like that. And running up on the grass a little bit. Still behind Jamian, but not by much. He's getting closer to the Toro Rosso driver, who has been so stellar in the early parts of this championship. The rain is coming down at Suzuka, and Anthony 82 is the man chasing down Jamian for second position to cement his place still in this championship. Scar Logan retiring from the session on track. He is done and dusted. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. I don't know if there's been a crash. We'll ride on board right now with You See Me Flying. There's the yellow flags being waved. And let's see. And yes, there is the carcass of Scar Logan LPC. And more rookies getting claimed. Scar Logan and Chomo both crashing in this race. Damien and Element 10 are behind each other in 8th and 9th, but there's a 7th place man of, it's Damien right there in 9th. 7th place man of Lewis Hamilton. Element 10 trying to get ahead of him. And there is an overtake on Jamian. Sorry, I missed it on, with Anthony 82 now promoting himself into second position. Looked to be a possibly slightly dirty move, as there were yellow flags being waved, but yellow flags get waved for pretty much anything in this game. For every 99 yellow flags waved, there's about one virtual safety car, and for every 1,000 yellow flags waved, maybe if you're lucky you still get a safety car, but probably not. But then again, we're still having a good race, ladies and gentlemen. The rain has been a little bit unpredictable for us as we're on lap. We have 11 laps to go, as there's a front wing carcass on the track right there. And good to see the marshals doing their job out on track, even if it is just a virtual world. And Lewis Hamilton is behind Element 10, who has gotten ahead of him, now sitting in 7th position. But nothing doing it for him at the moment. Usually when you pass the AI, it's pretty easy to stay ahead of them. But the AI have actually been giving a little bit of a challenge. It probably doesn't help at all that the AI basically make no mistakes in the rain, as you do make mistakes in the rain. So that's always fun. There's you see me flying in that Red Bull car in 6th position, where Anthony82 doesn't want to be finishing anywhere near that in order to keep his championship hopes alive. Sitting in 2nd position there right now, though, and sitting pretty perfect in 2nd position. Now, I do believe these tires are going to last till the end. There shouldn't be any reason why they wouldn't. Let's look at the telemetry right there. And sitting it all the way in 1 ERS, managing it okay, but not managing it great. You don't need too much ERS, though, in the rain. And it's actually very easy to charge the battery in the rain as well. So, good on him to keep it there and not putting it into 2. Up to the hairpin. Missing his gearings a little bit there and goes a little wide into the hairpin. And we will keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen, as Sweet Crown 19 is in 1st, and a little bit of time lost by Sweet Crown 19. Is that a sign of wear on these intermediates? I don't think it is. I think these guys are still good to go. I don't know if we'll have to make another stop, though. It gets to a point, though, where it gets so late in the race that even if the tires are done, there's just no point in making a pit stop. So I think that everything will stay where it is, unless any accidents happen, any mistakes from the drivers. But at the moment, Anthony82 looking good to keep the championship alive. We'll move on to the Mexican Grand Prix, where it will be even harder for Anthony82 to keep it alive, though. And at the moment, the championship outlook not great for Anthony82 91. Though I think some people expected that Japan will be a little bit early for Sweet Crown 19 to wrap up the championship. First place for Sweet Crown 19, but not first place in the championship. Sorry, not first place overall in the championship when it's over at the moment, because it isn't over. Anthony82 in a position low enough to stay in the championship fight. So we'll head over to Mexico, and hopefully Sweet Crown 19, at least for him, can wrap up the championship, and we're going to crown our 2nd champion in WSR a little bit early. And Obiku is retired. Crash in Sector 3. So we'll catch this running with Sweet Crown 19 right now. And there was a crash by Obiku. And let's see those yellow flags when they get waved. And they should be coming up here. And going through 130R. And there is the Renault is sitting right there on the line. And Anthony82, I think it's ghosting. I think the car is ghosting, and now it's just gone. So, Obiku is out of this race. Another man claimed by the rain. But Anthony82 keeps it alive. Let's run on board a Fly-By-Night, who's chasing down German at the moment for 4th position on the grid. And he's having a pretty good run of it right now. Again, Fly-By-Night has pretty much been consistent all year round, keeping it high into those positions, keeping up a good fight for 3rd position in the championship, and consistently in the top 5 in qualifying. Even a few really good laps in the early parts of the season. A little bit wary, not getting into the top 3 so much so in the later half, but he has kept it in the top 5. So, good to see Fly-By-Night putting in a good challenge to the top runners. And German pulling away a little bit, though. Now up to his 2nd. Scar Logan has left the session. Of course, he'll be very unhappy with himself. 8 laps to go in this race. And we're getting a confirmation that it was an ERS fault by Obiku, I believe. So not good to see that. And Flip Flop Fish crashed into the pit wall on entry. So that was the issue for him. So lots of issues for a lot of drivers in this rain. It has not been nice to pretty much anybody. But there is our championship leader, continuing to put the challenge on. The rain coming up off of those intermediate tires, which do so well in these conditions, make you feel like you're still on dries a little bit. Though maybe for some. For some others in this race, it has proved not. Coming up onto Voodoo 52, blue flags will start getting to get waved. There's Anthony 82. The track looks a little bit lighter. That might just be an illusion. But the track does seem to be getting a little bit lighter. The rain cloud's starting to dissipate a little bit. And Sweet Crown 19 dropping back a little bit from Voodoo 52, but he will catch up to him soon enough. And blue flags will get waved, and hopefully no issues for him. And Hartman is into the pits. And it's more intermediate tires on. I don't know if it was front wing damage, but if that says anything, maybe these tires aren't going to last the whole race. Maybe they do have to pit again. And Sweet Crown actually went a little wide there, so maybe they do have to pit again. We'll have to wait and see. Voodoo 52, though, went even wider, and I think is giving quite a lot of berth for Sweet Crown 19. Yes, he is. Anthony 82 far behind him now, 6 seconds that gap. And oop. I tried to move my mic a little bit, give myself a little more comfortability. It didn't pan out so well, so I do apologize for any sound breakup, ladies and gentlemen, as Anthony 82 wrestling the car around the rain. There's Jamie and sitting well comfortably in third. WSR Gurman right now 13 seconds behind the Toro Rosso driver. And Hartman gets ahead of Kevin Magnussen, the two Haas's, sitting in 9th and 10th right now. And surprisingly, despite the sponsor leaving the Haas F1 team, and the update actually came, but surprisingly enough, the Rich Energy logo is still on the Haas, which doesn't make any sense. The deal was terminated. Saga continues. Even on F1 2019, the saga continues. Lap 22 of 27. The rain not letting up at all too much, so that prediction a little bit out the window. I do apologize. But moving on further into this race, as we're getting to the closing stages, Sweet Crown 19 in the lead, 5.3 seconds ahead of Anthony 82. And let's ride on board with Fly By Night, who is 9/10 of a second behind Gurman into the chicane. Coming up onto the final turn. No DRS, though, so it's all slipstream, as Gurman is weaving all over the track, trying to break up slipstream. You might actually be losing time by doing that, though. I think that excessive weaving is not going to help the case at all. As Voodoo 52, I think, has had a bit of a spin moment there, and yes, he has. Front wing damage for Voodoo 52. Fluffinutta with what can only be said as a pretty abysmal race, sitting in last in 13th position. Not the performance he would have liked to have at Suzuka. The drivers are separated by pretty big gaps. Fly By Night, though, the only man currently challenging any position, though both him and Gurman are both struggling a little bit with these tires. Thank you very much if you're still with us. It is, of course, Worldwide Sim Racing, and it is, of course, the Japanese Grand Prix. Sweet Crown 19 in first, Anthony 82 in second, Jamie in third, Gurman in fourth, getting chased down right now by Fly By Night. Gurman goes a little wide into that turn. Fly By Night runs up on the curb, though, and runs up on the curb there. And Fly By Night actually drops back a little bit from Gurman. So apparently, despite going wide, Fly By Night messed up in his own right in some capacity. Lap 24 of 27. About 4 more laps to go. 24, 25, 26, yeah, about 4 laps. And things are getting excitable for Sweet Crown 19 as he gets ready to win another race in WSR. It's the Japanese Grand Prix. A pretty prestigious title to win, though he's not going to win the coveted prize of it all. The WSR Formula World Championship will not be his at the moment. Hopefully for him in the next race, he would like to see that championship closed down, but at the moment, not looking to be the case. Fly By Night is sitting in 5th position, 1.6 seconds behind. There is Gurman in the, I always want to say Force India, but it's the Racing Point car. In other words, the worst name ever for a Formula One team, in my opinion at least. Racing Point. You might as well have called the team Speedy Fast Cars Racing. Voodoo 52's out of the race. We're going to ride on board of Sweet Crown 19. You can catch a glimpse of this as we head into Sector 1, and let's see where he went off. Still trying to find, and I think he went off around here. I still can't see the car, though. And there's Voodoo 52. His car's ghosting, so I don't know what happened. But Voodoo 52 is DNF'd, and the car is just ghosting around track. So I don't actually know what happened there, but more cars have had their lives cost, as I just can't move my microphone at all. As getting by the lap car of Kevin Magnussen. Lap 25 of 27. There's Anthony 82. He gets ahead of him. Fly By Night in 5th position. And back within a second. There is that very beautiful Toro Rosso coming up towards the, let's just say, not so beautiful Racing Point car. I just have a lot of pent up hate for the Racing Point, I think. I don't know why. I actually like the pink car. I thought that the pink car was going to be cool. And then somehow they even though we were going to get blue, we all wanted blue, somehow they found a way to just ruin it. Just to ruin it somehow. But what can you do? Can't do too much. Sweet Crown 19 is in the lead of this race. Lap 26 of 27. And there will be one more lap after this, and as long as everything stays okay for Sweet Crown 19, he will win the Japanese Grand Prix. He will extend his lead at the top of the championship, and the gap between the points will get ever so closer as Sweet Crown 19 aims for his first WSR Formula World Championship. I can only imagine it would be killer. Imagine Sweet Crown 19 winning a championship again. That would be like a double world championship. I mean, just the excitement of having those kind of numbers possibly pop up. You just never know. You never know if you're going to get that kind of run, that kind of championship run. Of course, he will be driving the Alfa Romeo next year. He'll have his choice of his car. And Sweet Crown 19, I think we'll stick with the Alfa Romeo. At least I would do. Let's run aboard a Fly By Night, though. He's getting very close again to Gurman. But again, in these rainy conditions, both of the drivers, especially in Sectors 2 and Sector 3, both having issues not able to quite keep up the pace, as Gurman, though, runs quite wide, and then Fly By Night runs wide himself, sliding out of the hairpin. And Fly By Night is trying his best, but he can only just manage a little bit as he loses time to Gurman. And now let's ride on board of Fly By Night as he starts his final lap in this race. We'll get back to the battle between Fly By Night and Gurman if the gap gets any smaller. But there's Sweet Crown 19, and well, what can you say? Absolute domination in this season it has been for Sweet Crown 19. Though he will not capture the championship in Japan, the gap will get smaller, and the available points will get smaller, and he'll be one step closer. One hand on the trophy, I think, is the case for Sweet Crown 19 at the moment. One hand on the trophy. Anthony 82, though, has done all he can to keep the championship alive at the moment, and he will go into the Mexican Grand Prix looking to hopefully extend that life of the championship even more. But again, as the championship comes to a close and the points become less and few and far between, more and more chances, the chances of Anthony 82 keeping the championship get very, very small. And now coming up onto the straight, Sweet Crown 19, this has been anything but a bad performance. This has been a fantastic performance, a class action drive. Sweet Crown 19 has kept it consistent all the way through, and now he's going to get rewarded as he's coming up to the final chicane, and Sweet Crown 19 has done everything he was meant to do as he comes around the final turn, and Sweet Crown 19 will win the Japanese Grand Prix. Anthony 82 will come home in second position, and Jamian will round off the grid for third position. Now, let's ride on board with Fly By Night. He's still chasing down Gurman, but I think he's a little bit too far back. I don't think any challenge is going to be able to get made. Is now coming into the final turn. And no, sliding around too much, Gurman will keep the position. Is there going to be any penalties, though, changing this? No anything for him, and crashing. And there's a crash. But I don't think it matters too much. I think he's very happy to just be done with this race. I think everybody is. Just rain. Worldwide Swim Racing has come to you live for the Japanese Grand Prix. There is going to be Yusumi flying. And Alvin Tan was going to score his first points in the WSR Formula World Championship. A good result for him, as Hartman will finish in a solid 9th position. Very happy result for him. And there is the last AI car of Lewis Hamilton. Will finish in 8th ahead of Hartman. But Hartman will be very happy, who has not had the best of fortunes in this championship, who will be very happy to get across the line with some points on the board. He survived the rain, as many few did. Not the majority of the grid, but quite a lot of drivers retiring out of this race. But let's ride on board of Sweet Crown 19 as Hartman will come across the line to get 9th on the grid and score a few points. As there is Sweet Crown 19, your winner for this Japanese Grand Prix. Nothing short of perfection. I think driver of the day very well deserving of driver of the day. As now raising the Japanese Grand Prix trophy, champagne will fly. As you've been watching the Japanese Grand Prix from Worldwide Sim Racing, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and comment down below on the stream to let us know you're here. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is WSRX, your head commentator for Worldwide Sim Racing, or Noah Clark. And you've been watching the WSR Formula World Championship. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.